Alright, so yeah, here we pick sword, because you want strength. The strength from the sword helps bosses in beginning game and mid game go much faster. And then we drop the staff because we want this defense from the shield, and we don't need the AP that you would get from the staff. In beginner runs, you actually pick staff because since you start the run with 8 power-ups and 8 defense ups, you don't have to worry about not being strong with the staff. And having the staff allows you like a better ability layout and more MP, which lets you pull off better strats. But for Proud, we'll pick sword, because we need that shit. So yeah, not much to explain on the next platform. He's just killing shadows, doing like tutorial shit. Basic things. That's a potion we'll definitely use at some point or another. Oh my goodness. That was terrible. So here we have to answer the questions from the 3 kids from Final Fantasy. Bottom answers lead you to doing the night EXP route. Middle answers let you do midday EXP route. And the top answers let you do dawn route. Dawn route makes it to where you get more experience early game, but then it takes longer to level up later. Midday is kind of a mix of in between. Night, you level up slower in the beginning, but faster at the end. We picked Dawn because we want the early levels in the beginning of the game. Arrow. $38, yeah, so I would definitely not continue with this run if this was serious. Actually, we'll just do that. That's much nicer. So here we're just running up to Darkside 1. On this fight, we death abuse because it's much faster to die than to fight the fight out. And it's not like the EXP that we're missing out from dying to this fight is not crucial at all. It doesn't matter. It's a measly like 18 experience, if I remember correctly. So, not much to day 1 of Destiny Islands, just grabbing items to progress the story. Some cool platforming tricks. Here we'll jump and then swing the sword to skip going around on the other side, if I can do it. And then jump and grab the ledge there to skip the little ladder that's over to the right. Then here you jump across to the tree and then jump over to this boardwalk to get over to the rope. Doing that jump blind without having to rotate the camera saves just a tiny bit of time. Again, it's just because you don't have to take time to change the camera, you can just go right into the jump. And we get the log all the way over here, and that's pretty much that. Hey, Sour Skits. How's my day? It was pretty good. Not much. Nothing to complain about though. Alright, so right after the cutscene skip, hold directly left so you can fall straight off the boardwalk and grab that first fish. Then you run over here and grab these two fish, and then go to the hideout. But yeah, again, and just another day on Destiny Islands. Not too much is happening. A few more platforming tricks. Actually, I think this doesn't even have that much. I think, just yeah, the one thing to know is when you're coming out of that last cutscene, make sure you're holding left so you can run straight off the boardwalk. And that'll make it to where the fish is in an easy position to grab. If you're late, or you're dilly-dallying around, he'll end up swimming and be further away. Seaglehead, and then we head into the Riku race. So with the Riku race, you can actually be too fast. When you finish the race, Sora will actually stand at the end, and the race won't actually end until Riku hits a certain point. So, as long as you make sure you finish the race, and it's not an instantaneous fade out when you hit the end, that means you did it as fast as you could have done it, and you're not going to lose any time. But yeah, the race doesn't actually end until Riku hits, you know, a certain point. So yeah, go up the ladder, go across the zip line, do some jumps, more jumps. Easy squeezy lemon cheesy. There are different routes to take during the race, and you can still finish it early, but that's the quote-unquote fastest, I guess. So here's the example. You know, you see Sora ran to the end, and you had to wait for a fade out. That means I did it as fast as I could have, which is good. You know you got an instant fade out is as soon as you jump on that little ledge, if the screen fades out like immediately as soon as you land, that means you were like weren't fast. So yeah, mushroom, here's some RNG. You hit the trees until the yellow coconuts drop, and it's RNG based whether they fall quickly or slowly. So I got 1 in 3, which is like perfect coconut luck. Of course it's on a commentary run, that's not good. Whatever. The worst that I've seen is trees can actually run out of coconuts if your RNG is that bad, and you can end up having to go to other coconuts, or other trees, and it's just, that's a disaster. So yeah, you get the bottle from Kairi after getting the coconuts, then you go get the water and the last mushroom, and then you head back, and GG, day 2 is done. If I had to guess how many times I've played this game, I have no idea. Tons. I can actually check how many completed runs I've done on LiveSplit. So I would have to check like my completed run count for all the categories I've done, and then like add a few more for all the casuals I've done throughout the years. But it's a lot. The best Keyblade in the run, it depends on the situation. The strongest Keyblade we get though, strength-wise, is Divine Rose. It has like, I don't know the stats of the Keyblade, but it has a lot. That's the best Keyblade we get strength-wise. But we switch it out a few times, because during the last world, we kind of have to switch between a magic setup and a fighter setup. So like the magic setup will be like the Oathkeeper Keyblade, and then I'll put on Royal Crown. And then for the strength setup, I'll put Divine Rose back on, and I'll put like Ifrit's Belt or Omega Arts, whichever one I took off, I'll put that back on, so I have more strength. But it really depends on the situation. So yeah, day 3, there's not much here. Just go to Riku, talk to him, get the Keyblade, then go to the door, and go into Dark Side 2. So for Dark Side 2, you can either do the strat where you just hit him a lot, he'll die eventually, or you can try and go for the quick kill parry strat, to where you do specifically timed combos to where the finisher in your combo will parry his orbs back into his hand, dealing massive damage. So I'll see if I can get it here. Hopefully show it well. So you see the tech there? That means I'm parrying it back into his hand. Alright, so I actually got all the parries that I could have, which is really good. I only got one crit finisher though, which isn't the greatest, but whatever. Alright, so I got the quick kill. Quick kill is basically you kill him before he actually punches the ground. That's a good fight. That was a good fight. So yeah, a thing about this game that actually can affect a few fights is critical hits in your finishers. I don't know the multiplier or whatever, but basically crits do more damage than a normal finisher, and you can only do crits when you do a finisher or when you do a slap shot, and slap shot is exclusive ability to Final Mix. But yeah, basically you can tell when you got a crit when you land the finisher, a like big kind of orb pops out and the sound effect is slightly different. It's a bit louder. Alright, so to progress the game, normally people think you have to explore Traverse Town, see different cutscenes with Donald and Goofy, like them trying to find Sora, but to progress the game you actually just need to kill 5 enemies. So here I'll kill 5 shadows, then I take a hit intentionally, although I need to take another. So yeah, kill 5 shadows, and then the reason I take damage is so when I go into the Leon fight, it only takes 1 hit to kill me. This will be another fight where I death abuse, because it doesn't matter whether I win or lose to progress the story. So here the fight can start out, he'll either fireball me or he'll jump. The preferred thing that happens is he fireballs, which he didn't. He instead jumped. So when he jumps, you do 6 empty hits, and that'll get him to always hit you with the sword. Again, the preferred thing is that he fireballs so you can die almost instantly, but again, if he doesn't, you just do 6 empty hits and he'll always hit you afterwards. Loses you a few seconds. So yeah, cutscenes in this game are weird. You have to learn when and when you can't skip cutscenes. For example, this one, you can't skip it until Riku's eyes open. Some cutscenes you can skip it as soon as it fully fades back in. Some cutscenes you can skip it while it's still a black screen. Some cutscenes you can skip it when it's a white screen. You have to learn which scenes you can skip when. It's weird. Yo, what's up, Ricky? How are you doing? Alright, so here you can either talk to Leon twice to progress the story, or you talk to Yuffie. And the reason we talk to Yuffie is so we can pick up this elixir chest. Because we will need that elixir chest very much. And then that menu I did, I was basically putting the 2 high potions I got from Kairi into my item slots, because I will also definitely be needing those. Hey, RNG. And then after that, we just make our way to the first boss. Or, not the first boss, but the boss of this world, God Armor. So before we actually get into the God Armor fight, we have to fight 6 soldiers? I think it's 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6. But yeah, soldiers die right now. They die to 2 empty hits and then a full combo. So you'll see me try and do that. I'm also hoping that Donald just goes ham with fire, because his fire one-shots them and kills them instantly. So that's really nice. Alright, so that wasn't that great, but whatever. Alright, so with this, the fight can start 2 different ways. He can start far away from you like he did there, where he'll like walk up, or he can start right on top of you. It's better to get the pattern where he starts far away, just because it's a bit safer. And then after knocking him, getting a finisher off and knocking him back, your next finisher will knock him down. So here I'm basically kind of switching targets throughout the limbs and distributing the damage equally. And it's really nice that the hand died there, because I don't have to worry about the hands, and they're usually the most dangerous parts. They're very hard to hit, they're in the air, and they're fast. So you distribute the damage, and they die pretty easily. Okay. So that was actually a really good fight. 2154 that's good. I would take that in a normal run. Considering on a 722 dark side, that's pretty good. But yeah, the explanation during that fight probably wasn't the greatest, because I was also trying to focus on not dying and doing what I was doing. But yeah, again, I was just like switching lock-ons, distributing the damage. The important thing for that fight is after he gets knocked down and he gets back up, he'll split apart, and he'll split apart differently depending on which limbs are alive. If you've killed both the arms, he'll split the legs apart. If an arm is still alive, he'll split the arms apart. And that's what you're looking for, because the preferred way the fight is you get the finishers at the beginning, knock him down, kill a hand while he's down, and then when he gets back up, he splits the hands. But then because you distributed the damage, the second hand will die as soon as like his transformation phase or his transformation animation is over. And then after that, because the feet are still attached to his body, they're very easy to work with, and you can get rid of those easily. Hey, thanks, Bob. Alright, so that menu right there, I looked to see if Goofy has an ether, which he did, so I took that and I put it in my stock because I'll be needing that for Power Wilds. I also put on the Brave Warrior equipment, which gives me strength and health. Health isn't super important because I'm going to die easily anyways, but the strength is what I want. That's really important. I also put on the ability Dodge Roll, which is going to be basically our main source of movement throughout like most of the game. I'll always be dodge rolling because it's faster than just normal running. And obviously it, you know, lets us evade attacks better. So yeah, right after leaving the world, we go into the gummy menu. And what we do with our gummy ship is we take all the parts off and basically turn it into a tissue box where we put just the cockpit, the engine, and a gun. The least amount of things needed for a ship to actually fly. You don't really even need a gun, you just need a cockpit and an engine to fly. But the gun is for safety. On Proud you can die in these things very easily, so you want to make sure you can protect yourself. Okay. But yeah, the reason we get rid of everything is the more armor you have on your ship, the bigger it is, the slower it goes. So by taking everything off, we're actually making our ship much faster. You would think, oh, well, you know, you have to go into the menu and actually take off everything. Is that actually faster? Well, yes, you make up all the time in your menu in just this first gummy mission. And then every mission after this, you're saving time over just not touching your gummy ship at all. You get 1 strength increase from Brave Warrior. Should have got something to drink. Jesus, I didn't know I'd be doing this much talking. But yeah, in case any of you are just kind of coming in, I'm trying to do like a commentary run, since my runs earlier didn't go well, and I didn't feel like, I wanted to still finish a run. So here I'm trying to do a no reset while explaining things. Alright, so here we're in Wonderland. Not much at the beginning. I'll explain stuff once we get into it, though. So here we just push in the bed and then drink the juice, whatever you want to call it, to make us tiny. So we're gonna go into the Queen's Castle, and basically we have to find evidence throughout the world to activate the Crank Tower fight. Most of you casually when you were younger probably searched through the world, spent hours trying to find evidence, didn't have a very fun time. Well, you only need 1 piece of evidence to actually, you know, be able to do the fight. So that's what we're gonna do. We're only gonna get 1. And there's a very easy piece of evidence right here in the forest to grab, so that's what we'll do. So right here, coming out of this text box scene, there's going to be some enemies. You can, in beginner, because you have more MP, you start with 3 MP instead of 2, you actually fire them, and they all die in 1 shot. But because we have only 2, we just do some dodges over here, jump up the mushroom, roll into this corner a few times, and then back out. And that despawns all the enemies. And then we can grab the footprints and make our way back. You may have missed it, but there was a blue trinity on the ground kind of near the evidence. If Goofy didn't have the ether after guard armor, I would take the time to get the blue trinity to give me an ether, because I want an ether for Power Wilds. It's pretty important to have that. So here we have 5 boxes. One of them is the evidence we got. I have no idea. I'm just gonna go with 1. The box that hits the ground first has the soldier in it, which will let you have Goofy and Donald in the fight with you. The box that hits the ground last traps Donald and Goofy out of the fight. So on Proud, since we die easily, we want them in the fight to protect us and throw potions when we get low on health. Alright. So I couldn't really explain while I was doing it, but when the fight starts, I do 3 short, fast air combos to get rid of the side cranks, and then I do high, long combos to get rid of the last crank. And then it'll die eventually. And then, for some reason, after you kill the cranks, the tower isn't actually lock-onable. So what you have to do is lock onto a card, run to the other side of the tower, and then throw out an air hit and make sure one of it hits the tower. And by hitting the tower, it'll activate the lock-on the tower. So then you can unswitch off the card, lock onto the tower, and then just hit it until it breaks down. So what I'll do when the cranks are gone and I can lock onto the tower, I'll do a combo on it, and when I see that there's cracks in the tower, I'll then do a very slow combo. So every time I do a hit, a piece of it breaks off, and if everything goes well, it should die in 1 combo instead of like 3 or 4. Thanks, Sandy. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast doing it. So in this room, enemies will spawn if you touch certain parts of the ground. So at the beginning, I rolled up on the slope and jumped onto the table. And then after I lit the first candle, all I did was hit square to just roll across. And then that gets me to the second table and I can light it. After the second candle, I hold directly right and I jump. And then I land on the other slope. And by doing that, I don't hit the ground and spawn enemies. And then, after I land on the slope, I quickly run down, examine the little latch before the command menu can turn red, and then quickly get out of there. Alright, Trickmaster, I can't really explain it, because I'm going to be focusing on what's happening, and this fight's shit, because I also just, it's hard to explain this fight, because it's just bad. But basically what it takes is you knock him down, he gets back up, and the big thing is being able to jump on the chair like that quickly and get right back in his face. Just dealing damage out very quickly as fast as you can. So that's what you're looking for right there. Just quick, precise jumps onto the chair. It's hard to do at the beginning, but I've done it 1,000 times, so I can do it with somewhat ease, if I'm good at it, you know. So the problem you're seeing here is you can parry on his sticks that he's holding, preventing you from, like, landing combos well. Alright, he should be close to his next knockdown. Alright, there we go. If I remember correctly, I think Spike said he falls dead. He dies after 5 knockdowns, I think it is. I haven't been counting, but he should be dead relatively soon. So at some point in the fight, he'll knock down the chair or the table. Alright, that was a good fight. So right there you saw him knock down the table, which is the preferred thing. If he knocks down the chair, that's very bad, because then you don't have easy access to getting to him. You have to, like, ledge grab the table, then flip up, and then jump over to him, and that's very slow. So the fact that he didn't break down the chair at all was actually really good. I think I forgot to mention, but at the beginning of the fight, I threw out a fire. What that does is it lets him walk closer to the table, while also throwing off his AI. If his sticks aren't lit at all, he'll try and knock down the chair or the table quicker and go over to the stove quicker so he can light his sticks. But because you lit one of his sticks at the beginning, it kind of changes the way how he works. Makes things a little bit more manageable. Yeah, that fight, I may have made it look easy. It's not. It can go very, very bad. And it's not fun. favorite anime? Code Geass and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Those two are my top two favorite. Alright, so yeah, another gummy. Next world is going to be Deep Jungle. Deep Jungle has a lot of stuff going on. I'll try and cover what's happening. The first half, really actually nothing happens too much. It's a lot of just going up and down. For the most part, that's what the world is. You're just kind of going up to the treehouse, then down to the camp tent, then back up to the treehouse, then back to the tent. You do that like 3 times. You're just doing shit along the way. So, after these text boxes and a couple cutscene skips, we'll be thrown into a fight with Sabor. This is, I think, the 3rd time where we actually death abuse in the run, in an actual fight. Because there's another death abuse later on, but it's not an actual, like, fight. But yeah, we go into this Sabor fight, and after 3 attacks, we die and just end it a lot quicker than trying to fight it out. Hey Sebek. Yeah, I'm trying to do a commentary run, because my runs earlier weren't going well. But I wanted to finish a run tonight, so I'm trying to do that. So yeah, 2 hits. So right here, after 2 hits, she can either roar like she did there, or she can go instantly into a 3rd attack to kill. Preferably she goes into the 3rd attack, but for the most part she'll roar. It's about a 2-3 second difference. Alright, so here I'll do a menu, and I'll try and explain it afterwards. Alright, so in that menu, I put on the Ifrit's Horn equipment that I got from Shookmaster, which gives me defense and AP. And then I put on Sliding Dash, the Sliding Dash ability for Sora. And then in Tarzan's abilities, I took off Raging Boar, Ass Bite, and I think Wind Armor. And then I put on his 2 critical pluses. Basically what that does is it makes him a heal bot. He doesn't use any MP using like attacking abilities. All he'll be doing is healing. For the most part he'll be healing Donald, but if we do get low on health he can't heal us if he has MP. And then I also took the 3 potions that he has. Because we don't have Cure yet, potions are our only way of healing, pretty much. So having potions is good. Because I haven't actually used any potions at this point, I could have gotten away with not taking them, but, you know, we'll just take them. And then right there we were prompted with, like, a party menu. You choose who you want to take. Basically, we take Tarzan, again, because he can heal us, and he's actually pretty strong. He's either on par or, like, stronger than Sora. He's pretty good. And then Donald's Blizzard and Fire Magic gets rid of Power Wilds very nicely. Goofy is just terrible in this world. He doesn't have magic, he can't heal you. He just pushes things out of your combos with his shield, and it's very, very annoying. You don't want Goofy. Alright, so here in this room, if you're quick enough with the dodge rolls and jumps, you can actually get to that hippo before it's completely submerged. You can land on him and then jump out and make the cycle. It's a little tight. Might take some practice. It's not too bad though. Tarzan's reach is also good. He's just a good party member. So yeah, like I said earlier, we're kind of just going up and down through the world. We went down to the tent. Now we're making our way back up to the treehouse, just progressing the story. And once we get to the treehouse, then we're going to make our way back down to the tent. I think I forgot to mention this, but right here we jump into the vine sliding minigame, and then you don't actually have to do it. You can just quit out, and it perfectly puts you right in the camp, like right where you want to be. So you just go into it, quit out, and it puts you right where you want. It's pretty nice. The thing with the plant. Oh, yeah. I'll get to that when we do it. Alright, so here starts the Power Wilds. It's basically 5 fights. 5? Yeah, 5 fights with Power Wild Heartless. They're very strong, they're fast, they're hard to hit. And it's not the greatest of a time. Alright, so here we're going back to the Hippo's Lagoon. Instead of doing the thing we did at the first go, where we make the cycle, now since we've watched the cutscene with Kerchak, we'll actually do this. We climb the vine here, and then we'll go into the vine swinging minigame, and then as soon as we start the minigame, we'll actually quit out. Kind of like with the sliding minigame. So you just pick one, and then quit out, and what this does is it teleports you right to the end of the minigame, and this vine puts you straight to the next fight. It saves about 3 seconds over doing the hippo stuff. So I guess the one thing to note with Power Wilds is they die in either a combo and a magic, whether it be fire or blizzard, or 4 empty hits in a combo. So like 1-2, 1-2, and then a combo will also kill them. So going into the third fight, if I don't have enough to be able to use 2 blizzards off the bat, I'll throw the ether, which I just did. Now I have full MP. Because if you get lucky and they're grouped together well, they weren't there, you can actually get a lot of kills, and they're up there, so that's cool, I guess. Yeah, see, so their jumping attack mixed with another attack, I'm pretty sure kills me, so have to kind of be careful. Obviously the safer decision would be as soon as you get hit, just back out and throw a potion, but that's not fast. However, I will throw a potion now. So after the fight, jump up and swing so you can get on that thing, and then jump out and over to this 4th fight. Alright, not bad. See, that was really good, how they all grouped up there. That's what you're looking for. Alright, so those were actually not bad. So after Power Wilds, we make our way back to the tent. Skip a couple cutscenes, and then we go into the Sabor fight. So, for the Sabor fight, the goal is to trap her in a corner and then kind of combo stun lock her so she can never get up. The important thing is landing the finishers, because the finishers is what makes her like fall over. So hopefully I can do it, and then it speaks for itself. So I roll to the back here to the loading zone. So you get the finisher, she knocks over, and then you kind of just keep comboing her while pushing her into the wall. Yeah, it's not the easiest. Actually, I need a potion. Yeah, so this isn't going well. Yeah, so that wasn't the greatest. Again, yeah, the goal is to just keep her from coming out and continuously landing combos. The other thing you want to do is mash triangle to call your party members over. Donald's Blizzard and Tarzan's attacks actually do a lot of damage, and it makes the fight a lot quicker. So, there is a scene if you go to the tent, but it's not required to watch, so you can just run past it and go straight up here. I'll also be doing another menu after I skip this. So again, we go into the Vine minigame, start it, then exit out immediately, and it teleports you to the end where you want to be. So right there, I put White Fang over Ifrit's Horn. White Fang basically gives you the same stats as Ifrit's Horn, except it also gives you strength. And strength is always what we're looking for, so we put that on. The other ability that I put on was, or not an other ability, but I also put on the scan ability on Sora, which basically lets us see enemy health. And we will need that later, because for a few boss fights, we'll actually be trying to miss HP gates or put them right before them to bait them into doing certain patterns that are more preferable. On level 1, since you don't ever get scan, it's harder to do that since you can't actually see their health and where they're at. So here's the first part of Clayton fight. If it goes well, all I'll need to do is 1-2, 1-2, and then 3 combos, and that should end it, if I remember correctly. So 1-2, 1-2, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. That was a little sketch, but got the gist of how it works. So here, you need to dodge that shot right at the beginning there, and then get 2 combos very quickly to get him to stun, and then appear like this. You don't need to hit him here, but what's important is getting a finisher right after he turns around, because that makes him jump to wherever Sora is, and you want to bait him into this corner. And then another combo knocks Clayton off. Alright, so this is actually really scary. I risked it a little bit. At the beginning, it's probably preferable to get Clayton immediately away from the stealth sneak. And then, once he's away, you want to just do short 1-2, 1-2 hits, and that kind of keeps him stun locked throughout the rest of the fight. So yeah, these were kind of examples of scenes that you can skip. After Clayton, I skipped the scene in the white, and then after that, I skipped it in the dark. So here we're in Waterfall Caverns, platforming segment. In Proud mode, since we don't have the ribbon or AP ups like beginner does, we have to take the time to grab 2 items, which here we'll be grabbing the Mithril and the Orichalcum, or whatever you want to call it, and we'll be selling those for gummy parts later. I forgot to mention it, but at the beginning of the world, in the tent, we also grabbed a Mithril shard that we will be using for selling. So yeah, that's that. 46, 48. That's not too bad. I thought it'd be worse. Wouldn't be happy with that in an actual attempt, but with this, that's totally fine. So after Deep Jungle, we make our long journey back to Traverse Town 2. And Traverse Town 2 is basically just a huge errand, or a world where you run a bunch of errands, giving people stuff, talking to people. Not much is happening. Yeah, it's like a 14-minute segment from Clayton till the end of Traverse Town 2. There isn't much going on. And even after you get out of Traverse Town 2, you still have to fly to Agrabah and do some stuff before things actually start happening. So this is like, it's like a big rest, I would say, in the run, I guess. I don't mind it too much in Proud, just because coming out of beginning game, it's nice to not have to worry about shit. But in beginner, it's like, fuck, I hate this part. So yeah, when flying on the way back, just like take the same route you came. Go to Wonderland and then Traverse Town. It's slower to fly the bottom route. The gummy routes are, the gummy missions are a bit longer. Alright, so as soon as I get into the second gummy mission where I'm going to Traverse Town from Wonderland, I'm going to try and line the gummy ship in a spot to where I don't get hit that much. And I'm going to use that so I can run downstairs to get something to drink. Because I am dying right now. So yeah, this, again, it's just kind of not much is happening. Hopefully this isn't too annoying and you guys are actually enjoying this. I don't do this very often. Actually, I don't commentate my runs at all, to be honest. I'm usually pretty silent for the most part. So this is kind of a nice change of things. And hopefully some of you are learning stuff that you didn't know before. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So yeah, as soon as we finish this mission and then start the next, I'm going to try and line it up into a favorable spot so I can go get a drink. So on the side, there's going to be like your score. I'm going to try and line it up with the bottom. Yeah, that should be good. Then go to the left all the way and then slightly over, and that should be fine. And I'll be back. Hey Dino, thanks. Just trying to do a commentary run. So, since my runs earlier didn't go that great, but I still want to finish a run tonight, since I didn't finish one last night. So yeah, like I said earlier, Traverse Town 2 is mostly just talking to people, doing stuff, not much fighting at all. First we'll be going to Leon, and he's like in the caverns, the sewers. So I explained earlier how this next little room works, but I'll do it again afterwards, or I guess maybe during. But yeah, right here, I'll just dodge roll to the end, and then I'll turn around and fire out 2 blizzards, and then change the camera to see what happens. So right there, I see that they're far away and that they'll despawn. So I just kind of chill, let them despawn. The command menu turns blue, and I can activate the red trinity and proceed. The other thing that can happen is they end up really close to me, and the 2 blizzards kill them. And then the menu goes blue, and I can activate the red trinity and proceed. The third thing that can happen, which is the worst one, is they're close enough to where they won't despawn, but they're far enough to where they won't actually get hit by the blizzard. So once you turn the camera and you see, you know, how far they are, you have to read the situation and then shoot 2 more fires. You have, not more, but shoot 2 fires to kill the one that didn't despawn but also didn't die. And then here we just talked to Leon twice. Right there he gave us Earthshine, which is basically the summon gem for Simba. Simba is a very good summon. We'll be using him a few times throughout the run to make some fights. Hopefully a lot nicer. After Leon, we make our way back and we'll be going to the accessory shop where Sid is. Basically, we just talked to Sid a bunch. He gives us an item that we have to give to Merlin. Yeah. So yeah, there's the old book that we got. We're gonna have to give that to Merlin. And then after these last couple text boxes, we're actually gonna talk to Sid again and sell the items that we've kind of gotten throughout the run. So what I sold there was the Orichalcum and the Mithril that we got in Waterfall Caverns, the Mithril Shard that we got in the tent. I sold the Pretty Stone that we got from beating the Riku race. I sold the Ifrit's Horn that we got from Trickmaster. And I'm pretty sure that's it. And what that gets us is basically enough money to buy some Gunami parts at the end of this visit. The gummy, or the money amount that you want, the minimum amount is $12.50. With the items that we get in a Proud Run, you should never be short unless you completely missed an item. On beginner, the money situation is a bit more tight and you can actually be short. So here you can try and go for what we call swag fire. You jump over the railing, and as you're falling you can aim a fire to hit the door, and if you can do that, then it'll open and you don't have to, you know, run up to it, shoot a fire, and then go in. Hey, thanks Bladeless. Oh, really, Firefly? Sweet. I'm glad you enjoyed the run. Thank you for the follow. I'm kind of doing a commentary run since my attempts earlier didn't go very well. So yeah, more text box mashing. A lot of this visit, if you're not like moving, it's just mashing through text boxes. You can't skip text box scenes in this game, which is kind of lame. You can skip them in like every other Cage game besides this. I don't know why they didn't make them skippable in the remix or the HD remake, but whatever. So after a few more text boxes, I'll have control again and I'll roll over the save point that's in the corner. Touching the save point allows me to warp back to it. Basically, after a going mission, I can land back in Merlin's house, and I will need to do that later so I can get Dumbo a lot quicker. So yeah, roll over the save, and then talk to Merlin some more. So here, talking to Fairy Godmother, we'll actually now be getting Simba, and he'll actually be a summon to use now. So there's Simba and tutorial on summons, even though it's not really a tutorial, it's just you can use summons now, yay. It doesn't really explain that they're tied to your MP, that their strength is tied to how much MP you have, what they do specifically, how to use them. I feel that's why nobody used summons casually when they first played this game, because it's just like, fuck that, I'll just hit everything with my Keyblade. So yeah, roll over, unlock that keyhole, because we want to be able to go through that door. We'll actually be using it several times, and then go into the house and talk to Sid. More text boxes. We'll be getting the, what's it called? The Warp G, which basically automatically goes on our gummy ship. It's not something we have to actually put on, and it lets us warp straight to worlds that we've already been to, which is nice.
Good.
Not really, Pepper. It's just in some situations, I'd really rather not. Yo, thanks, Liquid. See, after more cutscenes, jump over and go back to the first district. Here we'll be talking to Sid again for the third time. And after talking to him, we're gonna actually buy some gummy parts to make our ship go faster. Funny enough, the only shopping we do in this run is gummy stuff. So right there, I buy the Fire-G, which is basically a bigger and faster engine than the one we have now. And then I bought the Haste-G, which is basically like, it lets us boost. And then we go straight into the gummy menu and put our new stuff on. So yeah, there's the Fire-G, put it over the old Fire-G, and then there's the Haste-G. So here, you can either drive straight to the blue warp hole, or you can warp to Wonderland and then fly to the warp hole from Wonderland. And it's actually 4 seconds faster doing it this way, since the warp hole is a lot closer to Wonderland in the gummy mission than it is to Traverse Town. So yeah, warp to Wonderland and then fly to the blue warp hole. I didn't split for Traverse Town because lol. So here Chip is like, oh, you have Haste-G, hit square to boost. So you see, that's the boost. It definitely helps because you do it a lot. It has cooldown time, but it definitely makes things faster. But yeah, what I was saying earlier, we don't do any shopping except for right there. We buy some gummy pieces. There's never ever like equipment that we want to buy or weapons, because usually the stuff that the game just gives you is always better. Alright, so here in gummy missions, there are parts where big ships can actually fly from behind you, like right there. And if you're moving up right or upright while they're coming from behind you, you will get hit in one shot and die instantly. So learning where those guys spawn and making sure you're either just not moving or going slightly left or down left, and they won't hit you. It's a little sketchy, but it works, trust me. Alright, so we're at Agrabah, the worst world in the run. Hey Rich Steel, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you enjoyed the GDQ run. Right now I'm just kind of doing a commentary run, because my attempts earlier didn't go very well. So yeah, Agrabah. Ugh. Lots of things to, I guess, talk about. Alright, so here we'll be getting into a cutscene with Jasmine, and then after the cutscene, like Jafar summons 3 bandits that you normally would kill, and then you hit the you unlock the keyhole that's right there at the top of the screen. You can kind of see it. Instead, we'll be trying to go for bandit skip, which, spoilers, I'm not very good at, but there's an easy backup for it. So I always just attempt it anyways. But yeah, so we skip killing the bandits and activating the keyhole. Just roll out, go to Aladdin's house, talk to the carpet. And after this little scene, we'll be picking up a Mega Elixir, which is really nice. We definitely need Mega Elixirs and Elixirs. Elixirs restore all your health and MP. Mega Elixirs completely restore your HP and MP for everybody in the party. So yeah, head out to the desert, talk to the carpet, and then here we start the saving Aladdin fight that effectively killed my amazing run earlier. Hopefully the same shit doesn't happen. So here's our first instance of using Simba. Right off the bat, summon Simba. I'll be dodging to the left, directly left 2 times, and then trying to get a charge off. If you can successfully get a charge off of Simba, it destroys all the bandits in the area. Alright, so this is going exactly how it did earlier. Alright, so I got the charge off, they all exploded, second wave spawns, and I let go early because I didn't want to risk getting hit by a bandit. But if the fight goes the way it's supposed to, you dodge a left, get the charge off, kill the first wave, start the second charge, and then if all the bandits spawn on time, you just unleash it and they all die instantly. That fight has been pretty trolly tonight though, so fortunately I didn't get to show it off well, but yeah. Yo, thanks Ace. So right there, another party menu. Here we take Aladdin and Goofy. Donald, we don't want his magic because it can actually mess up some fights. So we take him, and then Aladdin is kind of like Tarzan. He's very strong. So we want him, and we need him for some fights. Here I'm putting on Jungle King, taking Aladdin's Ethers, taking off Aladdin's Sandstorm ability, and then putting on Crit Plus. Alright, so here... Oh shit, I actually got it. Nice. So if you line it up correctly and then mash the fuck out of triangle, you can examine and unlock the keyhole before the command menu like turns completely red. And that saves time. So yeah, here we make our way over to the bazaar fight. You kill a bandit, 2 bandits, and 2 green requiems. The important thing in this is you don't want to fall down to the ground down there, because that spawns more enemies. Even just grabbing the ledge, like on the platform that you fought on, will spawn enemies. So you want to make sure you just try and not get close to that. So yeah, unlock that keyhole, get out. Here we pick up a Mega Ether, which gives you 3 MP to everybody in the party. So here, a little neat camera trick. It might have been hard to see, but when falling into that hole, I turned Sora so he's turning left. What that does is it manipulates the camera in the next room to face directly forward to the door that I want to go to. There's a little bit of camera manipulation in this game, but yeah. Alright, so here's Pod Centipede. One of the worst fights in the run. It's very, very random, very dangerous. It's kind of hard to explain. So here at the beginning though, I'll like try and do combos till he splits apart like that. Now here I wait till he forms back together with 2 or more pots, which hopefully happens soon. Okay, so he formed back together. Okay, please. And then once he starts running, I intentionally take a hit, then heal, and then do combos when he's changing rooms. and then there he splits apart. I wait for him to form back together, and hopefully he just... The goal is that he's always running, and he doesn't break apart ever. Because here you can just, you know, keep doing free combos, free damage. Alright, so far this is going well. The pots are doing everything they can, though, to stop my combos, which is not good. Okay, so yeah, see, I keep parrying, it's just not a fun time. Because I wasn't comboing him when he went into the room and stopped moving, he stopped moving. So now I have to wait for him to decide what he's gonna do, and now he's running again. It's just a lot of hoping things go well. This fight's very bad. Alright, so that's good. So, after the fight, you can end up in different rooms, and the goal is to get to this room where I'm in, the furthest room closest to the desert. Whatever room you end the fight in, that's where you're gonna spawn in after the cutscene. And being here, you're skipping loading zones, potential loading zones you would have to go through. Alright, so another bad fight, Tiger Head. You have to start by quickly rolling 5 times to his left, or to the left of him, and then quickly making your way up, and then hitting the back of his eye once. What that does is it changes his AI to basically not shake around at the beginning of the fight. He'll just kind of stay still, throwing out lasers. However, once you get him past half of his health that he started with, he'll start shaking around. After he shakes around for a little bit, it's RNG which enemies he spawns out of his mouth. If he spawns bandits or air pirates, you're not looking for a fun time. Hopefully he spawns fat bandits. What's good about fat bandits is they can't jump or fly up to you when you're here on the nose. Bandits can throw swords up here, they can like dash and jump up here. Air soldiers can fly, so air soldiers can fly and get up to you and hit you, knock you off. It's just not a fun time. So here, since nothing's kind of happening, I'm not getting hit by anything, I'm assuming that... Okay, so here comes the bandits. See how they kind of just like dash up here and hit you? It's pretty great. However, that fight was pretty good. Solid fight. So another kind of camera manipulation. After I fall off the ledge there, I aim sword to the left, and it perfectly lines the camera up to the cavern that I need to go into. So, not much here, just kind of making your way through the caverns. Here you can either shoot a fire at the stone pillar, or hit it with the keyblade and it makes it fall, progressing the story. Alright, so I guess I'll try and explain the Jafar fight beforehand, since it'll be hard for me to do it while I'm doing it. At the beginning of the fight, I'm gonna dodge roll, get up to the platform where he is, then kind of like go around behind him and do my attacks to where they're aiming him to the center of the platform that we're on. After 2 hits, I'm gonna throw out a blizzard, and what the blizzard does is it activates his magic barrier, and the magic barrier keeps him on the platforms longer, which means obviously you can get to him easier, do more damage before the cycle ends. You also don't want to put him like his HP gate is right under 1 bar, so we're gonna get him to just under 1 bar and then kind of just back off and, you know, let him disappear. So there's the blizzard. Magic barrier is gonna come out right there. Oh, this is a little sketch. Alright, so he's just under a bar. We're gonna roll to the back here. And being on this side of the center, uh-oh, this is bad. It baits him to going to the center platform. Whatever part to the center that you are, he'll go the opposite way. And so here we kind of just do air combos as fast as we can, hoping that Aladdin will deal damage. So, didn't get the 2 cycle, a little short on damage, not a big deal though, but again, going to this side, and then baiting him back to the center platform, because it's the easiest to get up to. So yeah, 3 cycles is like the average, 2 cycles, obviously preferably what you want, it's faster, but it's not guaranteed. A lot of it is dependent on how much damage Aladdin does, because you have to really rely on him. Getting a lot of damage in. Alright, so here's the second Jafar fight, another HP based fight. At the beginning we'll be doing some blizzards and then hitting Iago, and we're gonna stop hitting him at 1.5 bars. So, blizzards. Iago. Alright, so I was actually really slow on the damage I was doing. But yeah, basically you don't want him past 1.5 bars, but see now that Iago has decided kind of what he's going to do, he backed off to where Jafar was. I knew I could continue attacking. If I was really fast on damage, I would have had to back off, kind of let him decide where he's going to go, and then continue attacking. So here, I make sure Aladdin's at full health. I rotate the camera so Aladdin will spawn closer. And see, there he is. He's already over here. Hopefully he gets on the platform with us, which he did. And so here he'll kind of just help deal damage. This is the most preferable situation. So not the greatest damage. We're gonna have to do some blizzards. And we're gonna have to hit him up here. But that is roughly how the fight's supposed to go. I was just short on damage because I had to back off and heal. And Aladdin kind of jumped off early. Hey, Walls, what's up? How are you? Alright, so here's like the last time we death abuse. Although it's not an actual fight, it's this carpet minigame. If you die, it ends this, like, the game still progresses you. So obviously, we will die because it's faster. If you can manage to get hit by every single rock that you can hit in this rock section, you can actually end it around 12 seconds early, because you don't have to get all the way to the lava area. Unfortunately, I missed the second rock, so I still have to kind of just go through this, but I can die right here on the first lava pillar, I believe, or this falling block. So yeah, dying, that's quicker. I'm doing alright. Doing a commentary run. Trying to explain things. See, that's Agrabah. Pot Centipede is random, although it went kind of decently. Could have gone a lot worse. Target Head went well. Ended a little scary at the end because bandits were getting up there, but was able to finish it before it got too out of hand. Jafar 1 was a 3 cycle, that's kind of average. And Jafar 2, I didn't kill him while Iago was still over at the the platform where he fell, so it was a little slow. Overall, not bad though. No deaths, and no fights were extremely bad, so I'll definitely take that. Yeah, that's Agrabah. Lots of shit can happen. I was saving Aladdin actually didn't go well, so, but yeah. So there we got, here, hold on. So menu, put on the new Keyblade we got, which is 3 wishes, and we leave. The 3 things we got there were Genie, which is another summon we will be using. We got the 3 wishes Keyblade, and then we got Green Trinity, which basically means now we can use Green Trinities. And now we make our way to Monstro. Yeah, the shortest world, I would say, in the run. It's very quick. Just 2 simple fights, nothing in between. Very fast. I don't know if I'd say easy, but it's definitely simple. I guess I forgot to note, but the interesting about Monstro is he can actually spawn in different places on the Gummy map. Depending on where you go, whether your intended route is to go up to Halloween Town or down to Atlantica, Monstro will spawn wherever you went. So we go up to Halloween Town because Halloween Town is not only faster than Atlantica, but you get gravity from Halloween Town, which is an insane magic spell that will be very useful. Very, very much used later in the game. Holy hell. But yeah, Monstro will always spawn before whatever world you chose to go to. No thanks, X, you know, I think I'm good. So yeah, I guess I also kind of haven't mentioned that, but you don't have to do all the worlds in this run. We skip Olympus Coliseum, which we actually skipped earlier, which was it was in the first ring of worlds. It's the one we didn't visit. And then we also don't ever visit Atlantica. And then we we also skip 100 Acre Wood. So yeah, in Monstro, some platforming tech. Hopefully I get it, I can show it off, but it wouldn't surprise me if I didn't, because I'm bad. Lol, just kidding. But, yeah. So here, it's, yeah, what we call Chamber 3 skip. I'm gonna go into this chamber right here, and I'm gonna be mashing the attack button and holding directly left. If I do it right, I can land before falling all the way down to where I'm supposed to be. Alright, so let's see if we get it. Alright, so I landed. Okay, sweet, I actually got it. So yeah, you hold left and mash, you land on that little part, you try and line it up, and then at a very specific angle, you jump up right, and you try and grab that ledge. What that does is it skips going through Chamber 3, and it skips kind of going through that room that you were supposed to go to instead of, you know, setting that up. So it's, I think, if I remember right, it's like 11, 12 second time save instead of going the route you're supposed to, which is cool. Alright, so here's Parasite Cage 1. The goal of this is to get combos out as fast as you can and kind of stun lock with him with your finisher. The problem is if party members attack him like in between your combos. See, Donald threw out a blizzard as soon as the fight started, so I couldn't even start the loop. So yeah, I'm stunning him. If party members hit him in between your combos, it can kind of knock him out of it, and that's not good. Yeah, so this isn't favorable. Okay. So yeah, simple fight, just kind of mashing air combos. Hopefully party members don't screw it up for you. Right now we'll be doing a menu after getting our first shared ability, which is high jump. It basically lets us jump high. But yeah, in the menu, I'm gonna try and do it first and then say what I did. So yeah, come up, get high jump. Alright, so there I put on Sora's Combo Plus, which extends our ground combos by one more hit. I put on his counter attack, which lets us counter attacks after a parry or guard. And then I also put on Slapshot. Slapshot's a very important ability. And then I also put on high jump, again, makes us jump high. And I put on Goofy's cheer ability, which boosts the summons gauge, makes them last longer and stuff. So at the beginning of the fight, I'll kind of run back. Oh, well, that didn't go well. I want to bait Parasite Cage basically into hitting the party members though at the beginning, so that way they're obviously not at full health. They'll die earlier. There, see right here, they're doing everything in their power to just hit Parasite Cage out of the loop. And unlike Parasite Cage 1, the second fight, he can actually fall over like that. So kind of just wait after that attack. You can get him back into the loop. It looks like Donald's stuck over on the right, and Goofy is somewhere. So as long as I don't drop this, it should be smooth sailing to the end. These air combos are very tight though. You have little to no room of error. It looks easy and simple, but it's not. Okay, so that was I actually golded that segment. Sweet. That was a good fight. That was a very good fight. And then right there we got stop. The stop spell, which we will also be using quite a bit. So that's it. That's Monstro. It's already done. It's like a 7-8 minute world. That's pretty fast. Hey Styles. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the GDQ run. Also happy that you're enjoying the commentary. This is something I actually like never do. I usually don't commentate my runs just because I'm like focusing on what I'm doing. But my attempts earlier weren't going that well, but I still wanted to finish a full run tonight, so I figured I'd turn it into a commentary run. But yeah, glad you're enjoying the stream. So yeah, after Monster, we get booted out to back to Agrabah. Instead of going back to Monster though, we're actually gonna make a pit stop at Traverse Town and pick up a new Keyblade we can get, which is the Wishing Star. The Wishing Star Keyblade's special ability is every time you do a finisher or a slap shot, and I'll show what slap shot is later. It's always a critical hit, and while Wishing Star's base strength is actually weaker than 3 wishes, what we have now, because of all the critical hits we'll be dealing out, it outclasses 3 wishes in damage by quite a bit. And you can't get Wishing Star until you've beaten Monstro, so that's why we wait until now. So yeah, land in Traverse Town, roll your way up to Geppetto's house. And after I grab Wishing Star, which will be in a chest, I'll put on Wishing Star, and then I'll also put on Ray of Light. And what Ray of Light does is it gives you MP and HP. The MP we will be needing basically throughout the entirety of the Lock, Shock, and Barrel segment until the actual fight itself. Having 4 MP instead of 3 during all the like Heartless fights here is it makes the fights much easier to deal with. You can spam magic easier, which is what we're going to be doing. So yeah, I put Ray of Light over Brave Warrior, and then right before the Lock, Shock, Barrel fight, I'll make sure I put Brave Warrior back on so I have, you know, as much strength as I can. So here you kind of have 2 choices, but obviously this is the faster one. So you can either warp straight to Monstro, and then you'll always land in Monstro. He always pops up here. Or you can, if you normal drive from Agrabah to like Halloween Town, there is a chance that he doesn't show up, but it's always faster to just take the straight warp, land in here, just go through it, and then, you know, get out. The important thing though is you do want to land in here, because right there we get the Water Gleam gem, which is basically the summon gem for Dumbo, yes. And we won't be using Dumbo much for fights, mostly for skips. Like, I guess you could call it a sequence break. But yeah, Dumbo will be used later for skipping stuff. And then here we have a short gummy mission to Halloween Town. So kind of like Deep Jungle with the back and forth between the tent and the treehouse. We're going to be doing some back and forth between going to the lab, then kind of like out to where the Heartless are, then back to the lab, then to do some Heartless, then back to the lab. It's a lot more back and forth, kind of like Deep Jungle. Alright, so here, I guess I'll actually show just like a tiny thing that some people may not, like they might not understand why something's happening. So right here we're going to be grabbing a power-up. When you make this jump, you want to make sure you're like out kind of where the stairs are. If you're down here right next to the wall, you won't make it. So you want to make sure you're kind of out because you're slightly higher ground. So yeah, make the jump. And then here's a power-up. That is very much needed. We will be putting that very, like, immediately right in our next menu here. So after some text boxes and a cutscene, we're going to be given another party menu. Here we're going to actually just take Donald and Goofy and not Jack, because Jack has spells that mess up the Oogie fight, so we don't want Jack. We just want Donald and Goofy. And then the menu here will be taking the 2 ethers that Jack has, giving ourselves all the ethers that we have, which is 4 at this point, and using the power-up on ourselves. Alright, so this first Heartless fight, for the most part, is just, again, because we put Ray of Light on, we have more MP, we can spam magic better. And here it's pretty much just a bunch of blizzards. I'm pretty sure this first wave of shadows, you do 3 blizzards. Then when the ghosts appear, it's 2 blizzards. And then when the White Knights, it's like 5 or 6. Alright, so because of auto lock, it kind of aimed Sora in a bad position. Yeah, now 2 blizzards. Walk back a little bit and aim yourself straight, so then the blizzards hit all 3 white knights. And very simple. When the fight ends after the white knights, you want to make sure you run over and pick up at least 2 bubbles. The bubbles restore your MP. And the goal is to get back to 1 MP block, so then you can throw the ether, putting yourself at 4. If you don't get the bubbles and you just throw the ether, you're only going to be at 3. And obviously it's better to have more. It's better to have 4 than 3. So, yeah. So after the fight, make our way back to the lab, cutscenes, and then we're going to be heading out again. Goals for 2FM. Like I said earlier, crit I don't really plan on doing, but I do want just like sub 4 eventually. And then for beginner, I want sub 350, and then at that point I'll decide how much further I want to bring it down. Probably sub 345, and again I'll just have to make another decision. Do I want to keep going or not? Alright, so here we'll either get mushrooms, which if you remember from the GDQ run, we did get mushrooms, or you get 3 white knights. 1 on that first thing where we use physical hits, and then there's 2 more on these tombstones. You use fire to get rid of those. So here, there's enemies that spawn if you stand on the ground right there, but if you jump, land on those, then roll off, do another roll, and mash triangle going into the coffin, you can actually skip the rest of the enemies that spawn there. And it's pretty cool. I was a little sad I didn't get to show that off at GDQ, but oh well. So during this mini game, we throw another ether to set ourselves up for the next fight. 2, 7, and I believe 3. Yeah, Beck. And hey, what's up? So yeah, do the mini game, then leave. You're out, you get spawned down Moonlight Hill, light the lantern, ride the lantern, then go back to the lab. Alright, so more text scenes, cutscene skipping, and we'll be headed out again. So coming up, we'll be heading our way back to Moonlight Hill. This is kind of like another, I guess I didn't mention earlier, but there's an enemy in this game called Black Fungus. They're like black mushrooms. And they can spawn, there's 2 areas they spawn in the run, and basically if they spawn in the area, you kind of have to leave and re-enter so they're not there, because they're very difficult to kill. And so coming up here, either black mushrooms can spawn, or just white knights and a gargoyle. Hopefully we get the white knights. So fire this lantern. And you can tell if you got black mushrooms, because obviously these guys will spawn in the corner, but like during the black fade screen, you can hear if Heartless spawned. If you don't hear anything, that means black mushrooms are kind of just chilling throughout the area. The problem with black mushrooms is, again, you can't kill them easily, and because of that, you won't get a blue command menu, and that means you can't examine the little thing on the hill to proceed. The other spot that they can spawn in, if you remember back in Agrabah, the bazaar fight with the 2 bandits and the 2 green requiems, they can spawn there. Alright, so here I'll do a quick menu, throwing on Brave Warrior so we can get our strength back. And then we'll be doing some pretty cool platforming called Community Climb, Community Jumps. Or basically, you're skipping parts that you would normally have to go through. You would normally have to, you know, fight some enemies, open a door, go up the lantern, run around. But if you do these cool jumps, you can kind of just skip everything. Oh, I will get this. There we go. Alright, so here's the kids fight. Very dangerous. It's our first showing of what Wishing Star and Slapshot can do. Hopefully it goes well. So yeah, you see how there's like the big orb that kind of comes out when we hit stuff? That means you're getting a critical hit. And that happens when, again, whenever you do a finisher or a slap shot. The slap shot is kind of the underswing that Sora's doing. Might be a little hard to see with everything happening, but yeah. So those are all crits, and it makes the damage very nice. So yeah, basically just kind of ground combo everything to death. And heal when you get hit. The fight can actually be very dangerous if they kind of like just combo you over and over again. Shock is a 2-shot and you die. Barrel and Lock, I believe, are 3 hits and you die. So that's the kids fight. Hit the switch. Make sure you hit that switch, because otherwise this green door that we're going to be going into below, it won't let you in. You'll kind of have to make your way back up. Alright, so here's the Oogie fight. The gimmick to this fight is he throws shit, you have to go through cycles, and you have to hit switches to get to where he is, and when you get up to him, you're only allowed 10 hits, and that includes party member hits. So the important thing is making sure your party members aren't in the little thing with you when you go up to Oogie, because they can take from your 10 hits and make the damage you do far less than what you want. So the switches are glowing. You want to make sure you hit the one that he's at. Alright, so in this center part, since it's a bit higher up, I'm not super worried about Donald being in the same area. So I get up, do 2 full ground combos, and then 2 slap shots. And then a fire when I get pushed off. So here he's going to be throwing some dice. The goal is to hit them and deflect them back at him. It's kind of random and very hard to do, and they can spread out. So yeah, it's tough. But what it does, if you can deflect all 3 back at him, you basically skip the attack that he would do. And he can do 4 things, I believe. He can spawn white knights, search ghosts, he can do that pinwheel thing, or he can do buzzsaw. Okay, Sora, please stop. Buzzsaw is the longest one, you don't want that. It's RNG though, what you get. Alright, so I actually got them, that's good. So I skipped his attack. And then here we'll just do all slap shots to finish out the fight. I'll probably have to spam a few fires at the end, but overall this fight was actually pretty good. Not bad. Alright, so that's the Oogie fight. Now we're thrown into the, after a couple cutscenes, skips, the Oogie Manor fight. Which basically consists of 7 orbs that you have to destroy. The thing with this fight, after you destroy 3 orbs, the manor gets a lot more aggressive. Poison orbs will spawn out of his mouth, gargoyles will start spawning, it becomes a nightmare. But the old strat would be to get the orbs down to just like 1 hit left and then bail out and go work on the other orbs. And then once you've worked on all of them, just go back down the manor and kill them off one at a time. and it's much safer. But obviously this is the faster way to do it. And because of Wishing Star, we can kill the orbs quickly enough to where we're still in danger, but it's not as scary as it used to be. So yeah, that's 3 orbs dead. Now gargoyles will spawn on this 4th orb. I'll use stop so they're not a nuisance. Stop again. Move on to the 5th orb. This is probably the second most dangerous one, just because this lantern right here shoots fire at you. So the 6th orb is the most dangerous because you're right next to the mouth where poison orbs will spew out and probably hit you. I got really lucky there though. So after that, make your way up to the 7th orb. What you saw there was a neat little platforming trick called Mist Jump. Basically, Mist found out you can make that jump from under there. So I probably made that fight look very easy and not dangerous at all, but it actually is terrifying. I'm sorry. Hopefully I'm not missing information. Also, I'm kind of just like talking and spewing things out while I'm trying to do fights. Alright, so here comes kind of the big RNG moment in the run. Normally, the way how Neverland works, when you... I didn't split. I'm sorry, Beecher. I'm surprised I've actually managed to remember most of these splits. So, in this Ring of Worlds, there's... like, besides Agrabah, there's Monstro, Halloween Town, Atlantica, and Neverland. If you do what you're supposed to and defeat or beat Monstro, Halloween Town, and Atlantica, Neverland will always spawn 100% of the time when you go to it. But because we've only done 2 of the 3 worlds, it's a 75% chance whether Neverland will actually spawn or not. And if he doesn't spawn, I guess, yeah, we always refer to it as Hookship, but really it's like, you know, Neverland, the world, whether it pops up or not. The first time you miss it, that's a 50-second time loss, and I believe every other time after that, it's a 30-second time loss, since now you're flying to it from Atlantica instead of all the way from Halloween Town. But yeah, you have no control over whether it spawns or not. We've tried looking into, you know, manipulating it, but we got nothing. And while it seems like, while the statistics are like, you know, it's 70, 75% or whatever, to a lot of us it feels like 40%. So it's kind of lame, but again, you can't do much about it. Funny enough, my PB actually did miss, you know, Neverland Hookship, so I do actually have like a minute time save here if I can get it first try, which I did, which is cool. See right there at that certain part of the gummy mission, the screen will fade out if you did get it, and then, you know, this happens. So after some cutscene skips, we'll have control of Sora, and there's getting to the anti-Sora fight. There's actually like, I think what is it, three little movement tech things you can do to kind of get through the world faster. And I'll try and show them when I do them. Hopefully I actually can pull them off. They're not super difficult, except for the first one. First one's a little RNG based on where enemies are. My voice is dying. Holy. Alright, so I don't even consider this like a movement thing, but after this party menu, if you kind of like go down and then right, you can actually go through the door before it fully fades in. So here I'll jump, swing the sword at the very top of my jump, and you can actually get up there without having to use the ladder. Right there, as I'm falling through the hole, I'll shoot a fire so Sora doesn't grab any ledges. and then right there, I jump and ride along the ladder, and at the top of my jump I do a sword swing so I can hit the loading zone without ever having to actually climb the ladder. So, kind of, you know, neat tricks. Cool. Alright, so yeah, make sure you jump up there and go through the right hole, not the left. Use the Green Trinity and then climb this ladder to get into the Anti-Sora fight. So the beginning of the Anti-Sora fight is random. He can start with different patterns. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. I just know the one that I'm looking for is the one where he does this kind of like the lunging stab move at Sora at the beginning. So let's see what happens. Alright, so he did that, you saw. I'll do 3 slap shots, then a combo. Here he'll do 2 finishers. And then you try and get another slap shot in there, but the window is very small. So here I'll do 3 more hits, another combo, and that makes him explode. And then here you can kind of start the loop, although it's not 100% until he's at like 1.4 bars left. So here we're kind of just hitting him, trying to get him down to the phase. That was scary. Alright, so he's in his final phase, and what you can do here is loop him. Any 5th hit or finisher will make him explode, and when he's coming back, after the finisher, if you throw out a hit that's very specifically timed, you can actually stun him. Yeah, so that I was really late and I jumped high. When clones come out, I kind of just throw out blizzards to get rid of them. But yeah, I throw out an air hit, try and get the restun, and then when I land, slap shot hit, slap shot combo, or finisher. It's tough. The timing is very strict. Alright, so so it says I golded that segment, but because I skipped Oogie 2, I don't think that's actually, like, correct. Alright, so here's a menu. We take Peter's Ethers. We give ourselves the new Raven's Claw equipment that we just got, which gives us 2 strength, basically boosting our strength +1, just because it's put over Brave Warrior. And then here we put on Guard. If you go to speedrun.com/KH, I think it is, or just type in khleaderboards.com, it'll take you to all the games, and if you go to the games, there should be guides. They may not be super detailed, but at the least there will be like menu notes, chest notes. There are boss strat videos on YouTube. You just kind of have to find them. But yeah, there are ways to learn. Thank you guys. So yeah, here another party menu. We boot out Donald because we want Peter and Goofy. So here we are forced into a mob fight where you kind of just have to fight everything out. I'll be using stop in combination with ground combos, slap shot, basically all the crits that we have. So the first wave is for pirates. Second wave is for air pirates. And they're very difficult to hit, especially with party members also attacking them. Okay. Oh shit, and they hit very hard. These guys definitely two-shot you. Pretty much at this point in the run, everything two-shots you. Alright, so one thing, I'll obviously lose time for pointing it out, but it's nice to know. So here, there's supposed to be a third wave that comes out after the 4 air pirates, but they don't spawn unless you're over the ship. So see, as soon as I fly over the ship, they spawn. So that's something that's nice to know. So here I use stop, 2 gravities on the battleship, a couple air combos, and it kind of explodes. And then 2 air pirates, and it's a dunzo. Alright, later Valiant. Thank you for the good luck. Have a good one. So I haven't mentioned yet, but there are actually a few fights you can just straight up leave, and Hook is one of them. You can leave the fight and then just re-enter it. And what this does, even though you lose time for it, normally if you die to Hook, you have to do the pre-Hook fight again. But because you room save like that, let's say we die to this fight, you don't have to do it again. And it's a nice safety thing for, like, you know, people first starting out and doing crowd runs, or even if you're just like not a beginner but you're also not going for like the greatest time. I would say doing the room save loses you about 12 seconds. So the Hook fight, the problem with this fight is the battleship that's flying around everywhere. The battleship fires missiles, drops bombs, and it can do like a ramming attack. And it can also fire healing missiles, which can hit Hook and heal him. That's very bad. You can jump in front of the missiles and they'll actually heal you, but it's a little tough. But for the most part, it's kind of just doing ground combos on Hook. Trying to get slap shots when you can, since they're better. Yeah, so he just fired a healing missile at him. You might have been able to see that. His health, I think went up. But yeah, it's very annoying. It just gets, like, see, now it's in the way, and it's just, see, really annoying. The problem with the battleship also being here, if you notice, Sora's doing, like, horizontal slashes to the side. He's doing that because there's another enemy, like, in the way. If he wasn't there, Sora would be doing Slapshot more, and which is obviously more damage, but because of that, yeah, we're missing out. So yeah, didn't die, but I don't know if I would say that was the greatest fight either. And then again, just another scene you can skip in the white. For me, when you play on HD or 16:9, there aren't black bars when there are cutscenes. Okay, let me start this over. When you play on standard def, there are black bars when you watch cutscenes. And because of the black bars, they pop up during white screens, so they kind of like tell you, alright, the cutscene has started, you can skip this early now. But if you play in HD and the black bars aren't there, you kind of have to just learn when you're able to skip cutscenes in the white. For me, I rely on the PS3. It kind of like makes croaking sounds, like, you know, just it makes noises. And I know, like, oh, after it croaks the first time, or after 3 noises it makes, I know I can skip the cutscene now. So it's, if you're playing on HD, it's something you have to learn. If playing on standard def, you can kind of just see. The black bars will pop up on the top and bottom and be like, oh, now I can skip a scene. Hey, Neff. Alright, so here we get Glide, which is our second shared ability. Basically, it lets us glide. We got Fairy Harp, which we're putting on right now. Hold on. Alright, so we got Fairy Harp, Glide, and then we got the summon Tinkerbell. We don't use Tinkerbell just because there's no need to. All she does is kind of fly around you. Periodically, it heals a little bit of your health, and if you do die, she'll revive you. But that it doesn't benefit us going quickly in any way, so we don't use her. Another thing we also got that wasn't right there, but we got an ability called Ars Arcanum from beating Hook, which is a very important ability. I put it on in that menu, and it's basically it's a limit that Sora does, like a special move where he's basically invincible and just does a bunch of a flurry of attacks. And we'll see later. We'll actually do it coming up right here. You'll be able to see. So here I landed in Merlin's house because I got the Water Gleam gem earlier. Now I can talk to the fairy godmother and get Dumbo, which we will be using in the next world we go to. And I guess I kind of forgot to mention this because I'm like used to doing it this way, but normally when you casual this game, it wants you to do the opposite armor fight during the Traverse Town 2 visit. Oh, good job, Sora. Yeah, like, okay, look. Alright, we're going around. Normally you can roll up that and then fly across, but nothing was cooperating. But yeah, opposite armor is a boss fight you're normally supposed to do a lot earlier in the game, but it's not required to do it that early. So we hold off on it and come back to it much later when we're a lot stronger and have more things at our disposal. Alright, so here we're going to climb to the top, and this is what ours is. You're invincible throughout that first like set of 7 hits or whatever, and then afterwards you can mash triangle and do more hits. However, you're not fully invincible during the last set of hits, so that's something to note. But yeah, it's a very good ability that dishes out damage very quickly, and it does a lot of damage quickly. That's the important part of it. We will be using that a lot in this run. I'll actually be using it in this next fight here against opposite armor. So after 3 bell rings, cutscene, and go to the fight. The fight starts off, we actually have to fight guard armor. To end this fight quickly, you just have to destroy one of the limbs, and because the hands have the least amount of health, we just destroy a hand, and it dies instantly. Alright, so I actually forgot to throw an ether. But normally you want to go into this fight at full 6 MP. Alright, so... Here, can we do something here? Alright. So throw out an R's after the guard. Another guard. And destroy the hands. So that was like a very bad way of showing how the fight's supposed to go, although that's roughly what it's supposed to look like. When the fight starts, you guard his first attack, you R's one of the hands, it breaks. He does another attack, you guard it, and then break the other hand with another R's. And then from there, you just destroy the feet, and he's dead. Normally, if you screw up like I did, he'll break his, he'll separate kind of how he did in the old guard armor fight at the beginning of the game. The problem with separating is you can't kill limbs when he's in his transformation animation. And once he's split apart, you can't kill him. Like, you can't completely kill the boss when he's split apart. So after you kill that, some limbs, eventually he goes back together. And it's another animation you have to wait through, making the fight very slow. So yeah, after opposite armor, go and talk to Sid. We actually talked to Sid like quite a few times throughout the run. He's not a very important character like story-wise. The reason we have to talk to him so much is because he's just like constantly upgrading our gummy ship so we can go to more worlds. So yeah. After talking to Sid, bail out, and go to... We'll make our way to Hollow Bastion. Before Hollow Bastion, though, we're actually going to make a stop at Neverland to pick up a power-up at the Clock Tower. So the interesting with the Clock Tower is depending on your in-game timer, it will give you different items. And for the power-up, conveniently, it's during the 2-hour marks and the 4-hour marks. And because, you know, we go here right when the 2-hour mark hits, we can get a power-up. So yeah, jump right, fly over here, go to the door that has the light, and you can get a free power-up. And that, again, it's much needed. After that, we bail out and go to Hollow Bastion. Alright, so during this like little screen change, you want to make sure you're very high up on the screen, because if you hit that pink wall that kind of like is going down, you insta-die. It does a lot of damage, and on Proud it's an insta-kill. Hey Deadwing. This is also another gummy mission to where big ships will fly from behind you, and you have to know when they're spawning and make sure that you're basically not moving when they do. And so for here, you know it's after this set of green ships right here, after they go past you, the big ships come from behind. So again, more green ships near the end of the gummy. Either don't move or make sure you're going down or left. Just don't be going up or right, and you're good. Alright, Green, you're kind of talking about shit that's like completely off topic. I don't know. Let's chill with that. I don't know if I'm saying like tutorial, but I'm trying to do a commentary run. People can maybe learn things. My attempts earlier weren't going well, but I still wanted to finish a run, so I figured I would do this. So after this tech scene, we'll be doing a little bit of platforming, and then basically right off the bat, our Keyblade will be taken from us, and we'll be given a wooden sword. And our party members are also gone. We only have Beast. Beast is very strong, and he'll basically be doing all the killing for us. But yeah, the wooden sword deals no damage to Heartless. The only way we can do damage is use magic, or basically mash triangle to call Beast, and so he'll do attacks. Alright, so right here we have a menu. I'll be taking Beast's Ethers, giving myself an elixir in the top spot, and then ethers in the 4 bottom spots, and then I'll be putting on the power-up that we got in Neverland. The elixir is specifically in the top spot for the Maleficent fight. We'll basically be using most of our items. So we kind of have to do some puzzle stuff. Basically, the door to Riku 1 is locked, so we have to like go down into the sewers, do a lame puzzle, unlock the door, and then make our way back. Oh, I might have forgotten to mention this, but I think I was like trying to talk about other stuff too. But in the Fairy Harp menu after Hook, again, I put on Fairy Harp, Ars Arcanum, Glide, and then I went into my customization. Customization for Sora is a preference thing. You know, different players, runners have different customizations how they want. I customize Gravity to Triangle. Again, it's just a preference of mine. The important thing you want to do at some point is customize Goofy. You want to customize his support actions, which is the fourth option down. You want to put it all the way to the left, which is constantly. What that does is, once Goofy gets his ability MP Gift, which is a very important ability for Goofy, it basically makes it to where he'll use it more frequently. It's still completely up to him, but it makes it to where he'll use it more often. So right there for the defender, again, I can't hit him with the sword, so I use 2 gravities, and right when the second gravity's going off, I'm mashing triangle to call Beast, and Beast's attack, whether he does his roar or his like lunging move, it gets rid of the defender. It dies. I used to run with Gravity on Square when I played on English, but because the customization is different between English and JP, I kind of have to have a different customization set up. Because in KH1, you only have 3 slots for your customization. Your attacking button, and then triangle and square. The jump button doesn't have a customization slot. So because of that, you have different customizations between the versions. So, in like English, your cure is on X, and then triangle and square would be like for fire and gravity and stuff. But in JP, cure is on square, fire's on circle, which again in English, circle's not even a customization button. And then you have triangle. Hey, thanks Inogar. Thank you for the host and the good luck. Hopefully 2FM crit went well. So after doing the puzzle stuff, we go back to the big door that was locked, and we go into the Riku 1 fight. So the problem with Riku 1 is he breaks out after every third hit, and because of it, like you can't ever complete your combos, so you have to do a wonky loop that's not always consistent. Party members can mess it up. Sometimes Slapshot just doesn't connect. It's a very finicky loop. But basically, you do 2 hits that stun him. You run away while he's spinning. Then you slide dash into him. And then like you do a parry, then a counterattack. And it's weird. So 2 hits, he spins, slide dash. And then right there the Slapshot is supposed to parry him like that. So counterattack, Slapshot, slide dash, Slapshot. It's supposed to parry, but it doesn't. Yeah, so Goofy, he like re-parried him and it messed up the counter. So now this is just all fun. Again, this fight's very dumb. There's not much you can do to make it go well, if at all. So, that's that. Oh shit, you got the Zigbar crash. Oh, that's so far into the run. I'm sorry, dude. So after Riku, party menu, normally you would take Beast because he's much stronger, but you need Donald and Goofy to be able to activate Trinities. In case that, I'm pretty sure I didn't mention that earlier, but yeah, you need to be able to do the little Trinities that are on the ground. You have to have Donald and Goofy in your party, and we will be doing a couple Trinities here. So yeah, simple library puzzle. You don't have to do the whole thing, just like the minimum requirements. And then right here, we actually leave Hollow Bastion and go to Agrabah. Because we have access to White Trinities, we're actually going to immediately get a White Trinity that's in the entrance of Cave of Wonders. What it gives us is the Ifrit's Belt, which basically gives us +3 strength, and I believe 40% fire resistance, which makes Dragon and Chernobog much nicer and easier to deal with. But yeah, the strength increase you get from Ifrit's Belt is super nice, because what you do is you're putting it over White Fang, which gives you 1 strength, and Ifrit gives you 3. So basically you're getting a net boost of 2 strength, which that is a lot. It might not sound like a lot, but that is a lot. And having that strength allows you to pull off things that normally you can't. It seems like it's very out of the way, but over the course of just a few fights, you're making it up with the extra strength you have. So yeah, make your way here, White Trinity on the ground, use it. You'll be getting Ifrit's Belt, and then here I'll be doing a menu. Here, let's see. So I'm putting Wishing Star back on, I'm putting Ifrit's Belt over White Fang, I go to Sora, I'm taking off Slapshot and Sliding Dash, and then I'm putting on Hurricane Blast. And then as I fall, I aim Sora straight forward so that he's aimed at this waterfall that I want to go up. So the reason I put Wishing Star back on over Fairy Harp is because Wishing Star in conjunction with Hurricane Blast makes it a very deadly finisher. It basically makes our air combos extremely powerful. We'll only be using it for one fight, but having this set up just for the one fight is still faster than using Fairy Harp. And then I take off Slapshot. You would think, oh, well, why are you taking Slapshot off? With Wishing Star, you're better. Slapshot, during the Maleficent fight, throws you all over the platform, in front of her, behind her, etc. And that messes up what she does. You always want to stay in front of her. And because Slapshot makes it so where you don't do that, it's bad. You don't actually want it on right now. And the reason I take off Sliding Dash is so I have enough AP to put on Hurricane Blast. And at this point, Sliding Dash isn't super needed. I still put it back on later, but again, you probably don't need to. I just do it because. So here's some more puzzle stuff. Lighting candles, breaking things. Basically what we're doing here is just getting 4 emblem pieces to put into a door that is currently locked. So 1 emblem piece was spit out into the water. Here another emblem piece will be right there after you break the statue. Right here, after pushing this statue, a chest will appear with a piece, and after lighting this last set of candles, an emblem piece will be available to you in the center of the room. Now that the fire is gone, which you see there. So 1, 2, 3. Oh fuck. No, you know what? We're getting this. I want to show this off. Yeah. And 4. And then once you've gotten the 4, you can put them into the door and it'll open. Oh, I accidentally hit the analog. Oh, thanks, Meerkat. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm having fun doing this, actually. It kind of makes me realize, like, damn, I know a lot about this game. That's cool. And it's not every day that runners actually explain what they're doing, just because, you know, for the most part, their viewers have watched them enough or have played the game. They understand what's happening. Alright, so here I'll be doing... Okay, so I'm going to center the camera right here. You're going to see the wyvern twitch just a little to his right. As soon as he looks to the right just a little bit, I roll up the stairs twice and glide over here. And if everything goes as planned, the command menu will turn blue. I can grab that Haste 2G, which is basically a better booster than the Haste 1G we have currently on. After that, just glide back and activate this switch. The important thing, I think a lot of people don't understand, and they mess up that. And I used to mess up that thing too, because the wyvern would always fly over to me where the chest was. But after watching BB do it, I noticed, I mean, at least this is what I noticed. After the wyvern kind of spawns in and he turns to the right and looks at like the party members, that's when you know it's good to go and go after the Haste 2 chest. Alright, so here we're on the elevator. 3 wizards will spawn. And because of Hurricane Blast and Wishing Star, these guys die in one air combo. Normally with Wishing Star you would have to do like 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 3, and then they would die. But that is just so much faster to do it like that. So here I'm prepping Dumbo, which is our last summon, because I'm going to be doing the quote-unquote sequence break skip that's coming up here. I'm also going to prep Stop. It's a little early, but I'm prepping Stop for the dragon fight, which will be coming up after Maleficent. Here's a Blue Trinity that gives us a Mega Elixir and 2 cottages. The 2 cottages we'll be using in End of the World, and the Mega Elixir will be used during final fights. It's not super important to grab the bubbles like I did there, but, you know, I did. It's not that late for me, Leonard. It's only 11:30. Thank you, Beck. I would have forgotten, even though my split even tells me to get Royal Crown. So yeah, as soon as after you go up that elevator, you actually jump out and glide over here into this kind of like secret room. And then gravity this chest on a platform. This gives you the Royal Crown equipment, which basically takes 3 strength from you, but gives you 2 MP. Please open it. And that's very important. That is very important that you have that MP. We only put it on in certain situations because, again, it takes strength from us. So we want to make sure we're only using it in places and times where we don't need strength, we need MP more. Okay, so here's Dumbo. I'm gonna roll off 3 times, summon Dumbo, float up, and grab that ledge. Normally you have to go through here, another loading zone in the lift stop, and then there's a switch and a fight over there that you have to do so these pillars go down. But if I do this correctly, I can skip all that. He's a night owl. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, summon Dumbo, float up, turn the camera, get close to the ledge, dismiss him, flip up, and grab the ledge. By doing that, you skip loading zones. Basically a forced fight. You know, normally casually, you have to do that fight at some point to activate the switch so those pillars go down. And then talk to the switch, make the pillar go down, etc. Okay, so another menu here. Here's the important thing. You want to put on Fairy Harp, and then you want to make sure you're at full health. Some people throw to a cottage, Some people use 2 ethers. I use 2 ethers. The important thing is you use the Cottager ether after you put it on Fairy Harp, because otherwise you'll only be healed up to 5 MP instead of 6. And then here I take off Hurricane Blast, because you don't want Hurricane Blast for the dragon fight. Alright, and then after that, go into the Maleficent fight. So we'll start off by jumping and flying up to her platform, doing 3 hits into an R's, 3 hits into another R's, throw the elixir. Okay, so 3 hits, R's, full bashes, but not the finisher. Fuck, I messed up. Alright, well, we're doing another R's. Yeah, so you throw the elixir, get your MP back, do more R's. Okay, so yeah. Part of that was because, again, I kind of screwed up. I didn't do the empty hits after the first R's, because it's lined up to where you do the second R's, you're actually having iframes through an attack. But because I timed it wrong, it didn't work. So that was on me. Take off Hurricane and Blast again. Fairy Harp. And just to keep it consistent, I'll use... Alright, well, I can't use 2 ethers. But, oh well. Let's see if we can do it again. This is one of the fights, though, where if you didn't go and get Ifrit's belt, you can't pull off this strat because your strength is just so much worse. So yeah, 3 hits, R's, 3 hits, R's. Throw an elixir, go straight into another R's. Throw an ether, go into another R's. Again, these are all where you're mashing the bashes afterwards. And then you do 1 more R's, and then that's that. The problem with that fight is Goofy and Donald can kind of hit you into her lightning attacks. And basically, if you get hit by the lightning, you get knocked off the platform, and your iframes are reset when you're in the air and then land. So you can basically get comboed by the lightning and die instantly, kind of like what you saw earlier, a few minutes ago. Okay, so here I'm going to be using the first part. This is the first point in the run where we actually use EXP 0 and its damage storage properties. So I'll take the time to explain it. This isn't a fast run or anything. So in 1.5 exclusively, on Proud mode, they added the EXP 0 ability. And it has special properties that I'll go into later. But for now, what we're looking for is when you do a finisher, it stores the damage from your finisher, your base finisher, not a special finisher like Hurricane Blast. And it adds the multiplier from that to any summon or magic that you use. So we'll be putting on EXP 0. Donald gets MP... He gets Cheer, Leaf Racer, MP Rage. I'll put on Royal Crown and Ray of Light to give me lots of MP, so Genie will have a bigger bar. And then I'll give myself any ethers and mega ethers I have. So see, now you have my MP is a lot bigger than it just was. So yeah. Now we go into the dragon fight. A lot of you remember this being, you know, very tough casually. Probably struggled with it. But if this goes well, because of the damage multiplier that we can do with EXP 0, we'll use it in conjunction with Genie. And basically he'll just tear her to shreds. So, stop, get a finisher, do another stop, and then Genie. Hey Spike, yeah, trying to do a commentary run since my attempts earlier didn't go well, but I did want to finish a run tonight, so I figured I'd do like a commentary run. Alright, so after Genie, I'll stop again, and then use Genie. Throw myself ethers for MP. See, and look, her health bar is already like a bar and a half down. Another bar, gone just like that. See? Look, she's already dead. Again. That's because of the damage multiplier from the finisher added to Genie's attacks because of the EXP0 ability. Genie isn't normally that strong. Alright, so as soon as we're done with that fight, we'll put back on our strength equipment, Raven's Claw and Ifrit's Belt, and we'll take off EXP0, because we don't want EXP0 anymore. It was just for that fight. People will think, oh, well, why don't you just, do that on all the fights? Well, you can only summon with fights where you have both your party members, and you also kind of have to route it out to where you use it on fights that you can risk losing the EXP, but you don't want to use it everywhere because then you'll be extremely underleveled. So you have to balance between using EXP0 to choose fights, but also not, so you can get the experience to be at a decent-ish level still. So yeah, EXP0 is off, and I put strength stuff back on. Okay. Alright, later Meerkat. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks Boom. Alright, so this fight, it has an interesting loop in his last phase, but for the beginning of the fight, we're just going to be kind of doing some R's spam to get him low on health. So here, I'll bait him into doing an attack. I'll do a hit, do an R's, let him spin, hit again, another R's, and then mash out the bashes after this. And that puts him low at enough health to where he'll charge up and go into his last phase. Guard that, let him spin, and from here you can start the loop, if I can do it. Every fourth hit, he'll auto counter with a spin, and you parry off that. And then with very specific timing, you can hit him again to get a restun, and basically into another combo. And if you can do it right, you basically just loop him like this. He'll never break out. He'll never, do his desperation move. Good stuff. Easy squeezy lemon cheesy. Alright, later bro Smash. Thank you for the good luck, and thanks for stopping by. A pack of nuts, had to donate during 1.5 favorite games, that just... Klappa. Greetings from Germany. Oh, in case I never said it, I know I liked the tweet, but that doesn't mean anything. Congrats Liquid on getting sub 340 in 2FM crit. That's fucking awesome, dude. Congratulations on that. So after the Riku fight, we're forced to run around as a shadow for a little bit. Basically, just make your way back down to where you fought Riku 1 to progress the story. And then after some cutscenes, we'll be spawning back in Traverse Town, where we'll have to do some more stuff. Try not to get too ahead of ourselves though. Yo, bonkless hype.
何が
So yeah, we're back in Traverse Town. After the Leon cutscene, make your way over to First District and talk to Sid. Then after Sid, we'll make our way to the caverns, where we'll be getting the Oathkeeper Keyblade. We will use that a few times. It'll basically help us when we do like our magic setup with our equipment, since it gives us +1 MP. Ah, dang, I'm sorry, Deadwing. Oh, okay. Actually, I want to point out this to some people, because I don't even think some runners know about this. After you do this Trinity, your camera's roughly like this, okay? If you hold directly left and go into the loading zone, you'll spawn with the camera facing backwards. Hopefully it works here, so it can actually show it. Yeah, it faces backwards like this. That's bleh. You don't want that. After the Trinity thing, if you like aim upwards and go into the loading zone like that, the camera will spawn forward, and it's just much nicer to deal with. Easy, squeezy jump. Not like that. So yeah, I don't know if, I think a lot of people, like, it's not a time save or a huge thing, but I feel that needs to be shown. So yeah, just more story stuff, cutscenes, and whatnot. Yeah, fuck this. See, I was hoping you were listening, Spike, because I knew that you have trouble with that. Yeah, there's definitely I've shown there are other spots earlier in the run. There are definitely camera manipulation. There's definitely camera manipulation in this game, with going into loading zones having sort of faced certain ways. Alright, so here, after talking to Kyra and getting the Oathkeeper, we make our way back to Merlin's house, and here we'll be getting Mushu. And Mushu is, if you remember from the GDQ run, in conjunction with the EXP-0, he destroys bosses. And after Mushu, just make your way back to Sid in the First District. Don't get the front room after Pot Centipede. Oh, after skipping the... Okay, that's random. I still haven't figured that one out. Because sometimes it faces you forward, sometimes it faces you backward. That's random. I don't know. Because I've finished the fight having Sora, you know, looking forward, and then it ends up with me backwards. And I've also had it to where he's facing forward, but then he's facing forward after the camera. So that I don't know. Mushu the AK-47, basically. So yeah, talk to Sid one last time, and then we'd leave. Alright, so here's our last gummy menu. I don't think I mentioned it, but after Hook, we grabbed a Flare G at the clock tower, which is basically a better engine over the Fire G. And then if you remember in Hollow Bastion 1 with the despawn thing, we got the Haste 2G. So we'll be putting those things on now. So here's the Flare G, it goes over the Fire G. Yes, okay. And then Haste 2G goes over the Haste 1G. Save the ship and get out. She's scary when you use him right. Yeah, he is definitely a threat. So this gummy mission, I would say, is the scariest one in the run. You can die very easily here. So, yeah, you can fly through that. That's risky. But if you go through those two holes, you're actually safe from all the spinning rings and the ships. But if you touch the green walls that are around you, that's an insta-death. So, yeah. In this part, it's kind of just scraping along the top of the screen, leading ships, you know, so they're away from you. Here, fly through that little hole, and then make your way back up, and yeah, the tissue box. Alright, so one last time. Ships, the green ships and the black ships come after you, so just scrape along the top and then fly down and they won't hit you. And then once you watch that transition and you see the purple squares things pop up, that's when you know you can leave this gummy mission. Just exit out completely, and then you can actually just fly straight to Hollow Bastion. You don't actually have to finish that gummy mission. Yeah, Herb, they're pretty scary on Proud. Like, yeah, all the, just like the big walls are insta-deaths. The big ships are insta-deaths if you touch them. It's not a fun time. You definitely have to be paying attention. So here, because we don't need Trinities like we did in the first visit, we boot out Donald and take Beast because he is much stronger. And then here we'll be grabbing a Mega Elixir that's on this icicle. The reason we grab this now instead of on the first visit, it's better, these platform cycles are better if you grab it on the second visit and not the first. Okay. You know what? I actually want to show something. Fuck. Okay. This isn't done in a Proud run. It's only done in Beginner and Level 1. But I do want to show this. It's another Dumbo that we use in Beginner and Level 1. Because in those runs, you don't have to grab the Divine Rose Keyblade. In Proud and Standard, you have to grab Divine Rose, so you don't do this. But in Level 1 and Beginner, you do this. And I want people to see this. So, dodge roll twice, walk a few steps, enemies will spawn, 3 dodge rolls back, back right, summon Dumbo, and then you do this. Fly up, run across here, make sure the wizard despawns, and then you activate this switch. And that's much faster than going around through loading zones and, you know, stuff. Again, you don't do that in Proud or Standard runs, but that's something we do in Beginner and Level 1, and it's pretty cool. The reason we don't need the Divine Rose Keyblade in Beginner is because, again, because in Beginner runs you start with 8 power-ups at the beginning, you're extremely high on strength, and you can get away with using Oathkeeper in endgame. The reason you don't get it in Level 1 is because your Level 1 strength doesn't matter. EXP 0 scales your damage to the fight that you're in. So there's no point in getting Divine Rose. Yeah, so here, go up, watch the unskippable cutscene, talk to Belle, and this gives us Divine Rose, which we do need. We need the strength from this. And then here I'll be putting it on. I go down to Beast, take off his first ability, which is his like lunging dash attack, and then I put on Sora's sliding dash and slap shot. I put those back on now. Okay, so because, you know, we don't do the Dumbo thing, we have to do a different kind of despawn. So you roll up, spawn enemies, roll back twice, then you roll back up the stairs, up here, stay away from the switch, jump out, then go over it. To avoid spawning enemies near the switch, fly over to the orange platform, gravity that, and then hit it till it's dead, and GG. There are 3 things that can happen when you go to the orange platform over there. Either an air soldier can follow you, a wyvern can follow you, or nothing will follow you over there. Basically, if an enemy of some sort follows you over there, gravity it, then just hit it till it's dead. If nothing follows you over there, you'll get the blue menu faster, and you just fly back to the switch. Alright, so here I want to line Beast kind of like in the middle of the arena, like here. And then I'm going to throw up arrow. The reason I want Beast here is I'm going to jump when the enemies spawn and mash triangle, hopefully getting him to do the roar attack, which he doesn't do a lot, but if he does, basically any enemy that's touched by his roar will like instantly die. So yeah, I didn't get good luck with that, but oh well, not a big deal. Yeah, after elevator, just going through some more rooms. We'll be doing the Dumbo again that we did earlier at the ledge. See, because at this point, because we did the switch skip earlier, we kind of have to do Dumbo now because the switch still isn't activated. The pillars are still up, so we have to do it a 3rd time. And let's say the switch was already down and the pillars were already, you know, the switch was already activated, the pillars are already down. It's still faster to do this instead of just going around through like 3 loading zones. It's faster to do this by a few seconds. You also have to watch your MP when doing the Dumbos, because it costs 3 magic bars to use Dumbo, so you want to make sure that you at least have enough before actually attempting it, because you don't want to get into position, start mashing Dumbo, and then shit, I don't have enough magic. So not much here, just kind of little platforming stuff to get to Behemoth. Jumping on those things and gliding. And here's the Behemoth fight. There isn't much to this fight just because he doesn't get stunned. You just have to keep hitting his horn. And so the basic strat for this is kind of just like combos into Ars Arcanum and hope that you get a lot of hits in. And then when he's down, do air combos. Again, not much to it. Of course, I dodge rolled right into a pillar thing. No, don't do that. No, no. Please. So yeah, just ours. Yo, what's up, Sephi? Alright, so another text box scene, and then there's two cutscenes after after this text scene that for whatever reason you can't skip it, so you have to watch it. I don't mind it though because it acts as a nice break. Some people use it as a bathroom break, so it's nice. Very funny, Sephi. Although I would gladly donate that or accept that donation. Holy hell. Alright. So after that, more text scenes, and then a pretty lengthy menu, I would say, coming up right after this. So we got an equipment from beating Behemoth called the Omega Arts. It gives us 3 strength, just like Ifrit's belt, so we will definitely be putting that on. So yeah, Omega Arts will be going over Raven's Claw. Goofy will be getting Ray of Light, so now he has 4 MP, which is very crucial to this next segment. Sora will be getting Hurricane Blast. Goofy will get MP Gift, MP Rage, and Second Chance. Donald will be getting Second Wind. So, MP Gift, Goofy will throw you 3 MP at the cost of him for 2 MP. MP Rage makes it to where if he takes a hit, he gets MP back. Or he gets MP. Second Chance makes it to where any hit that would have killed him, he'll live it with 1 health. So that's nice. Keeping him alive is nice. Second Wind on Donald. Second Wind is when party members die, they come back quicker, and they come back with full health. The other effect that Second Wind that I don't think some people actually know is when a party member is dead, and let's say you throw an elixir. Elixir is normally supposed to heal a person or a party member back to full MP and HP. However, if a party member is dead and you throw an elixir on them, they won't come back fully. However, Second Wind, if they have that on, they will come back with full HP and MP. And then Hurricane Blast is just so we can have a better finisher, since we won't be using EXP0 for a little bit. And Yeah, Omega Arts makes us stronger. The reason Goofy having 4 MP here is good is because, again, MP Gift costs him 2 MP. And if he only has 3, he can't consecutively throw MP Gifts. But with having 4, he can actually throw 2, like right off the bat, which will be, that's needed for Behemoth 2. If you want that fight to go well. So for this Invisibles fight, we're going to throw on Arrow immediately, and then throw out gravities, and hopefully they get caught in them. Alright, so looks like 2 got caught. I'm going to die. Someone please hit me. Alright, so that wasn't the greatest fight. I think it was DMS, but yeah. Alright, so I guess since I'm bringing that up, I brought it up during Riku 2, Desperation Move, or what we usually call a DM. What that is it's a move that bosses do. It's basically their super attack where you can't touch them, they're invincible. And they usually do an attack where that's like the most damaging, the most threatening. So here, after the Invisibles fight, but before this next Angel Star fight, I'll throw a Cottage, because I want Goofy and me to be at full MP. So the strat for this is you do a stop, you throw out 2 gravities, and an air combo. Then you move on to the next. Stop. If you don't have 2 gravities, then 1 gravity and 2 combos works the same. So stop, 2 gravities, and an air combo, and that will do it. And because Goofy has MP Gift, you can keep using your magic and he'll usually, hopefully, throw it back. So after the Angel Star fight, there's an elixir right there. Pick that up. Again, I want me and Goofy to be at full MP when going into Behemoth 2. So I'll throw another Cottage, and then right here in this red chest is actually a Cottage, so that's pretty cool, pretty convenient. At the start of this fight, I'm gonna immediately lock on and throw out a gravity that'll hit him before he actually does his little animation. So right there, throw out the gravity, it hits him, and after he's done whatever, throw out gravities, Goofy will MP Gift, throw out more gravities, and because Goofy's at 4 MP, I can throw out gravities again and he will throw another MP Gift. Normally if you don't give him that Ray of Light, again, he'll only be at 3 MP and he wouldn't have thrown that second MP Gift, which wouldn't have allowed me to do an R's. So I can do R's, he gets knocked down, I hit him while he's down, and then finish him. So the way gravity works, I don't think I've explained it, is it does damage based off an enemy's health. The more health they have, the better the damage gravity does. But it only works like that on Heartless, not like bosses, just normal enemies. So that's why I didn't do that on the first Behemoth, but because the game recognizes that Behemoth and the one later as not bosses, that's why you can use gravity and it does decent damage like that. So here we're entering a part where we want to set up with our magic setup instead of like a fighter setup, basically giving myself more MP. So I throw on Oathkeeper, which gives me plus 1 MP, and then I throw on Royal Crown, which gives me plus 2 MP. So basically I just got 3 MP, which would help. It helps a lot. Alright, later Bladeless. Thank you for the good luck. Hope you have a good one. So these portals here, you probably went into them casually, but you don't actually have to do them. The only ones you have to do are these blue ones. And the blue ones are Olympus Coliseum and Atlantica. And the reason they're blue is because we didn't actually seal the keyhole in those worlds. We skipped them. So we are forced to do the Olympus and Atlantica one. For the Olympus portal, you need at least 8 MP blocks. Right now I have 9, so I'm good. For this Simba trick to work. So you summon Simba right off the bat. Do like a 2-tick charge. You can kind of see the end of the Keyblade flashes. Do 2 ticks. It kind of pushes them back, and then 3 full charges. And then that's GG. Alright, later Dajman. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Thanks for the good luck. So after 3 full charges, dismiss Simba, because if he's out, the flash indicating that you beat everything won't appear. So you have to dismiss him so you can proceed quicker. After that, and a few more portal skips, I guess, we are forced into the Atlantica one. This, for the most part, you just fire spam, and things die quickly. When the big fish spawn, do a gravity on each, then fire. And GG. So, and then, yeah, don't leave immediately. You want to make sure you wait till the screen flashes. Again, that's kind of indicating that you beat it. If you leave early before the flash, you have to do that fight again. So after the 2 portals, we switch back to our fighter setup, which is Divine Rose, and then making sure we both have Omega Arts and Ifrit Belt on. Go into 100 Acre World portal, grab this Mega Elixir, stand on the save point, heal up, and then head out. Here I prep Arrow in the magic menu, and then go into this is the Hollow Bastion portal. Another Invisibles fight, again, throwing up Arrow, throwing up Gravities, hopefully they get caught in them. Alright, so that's that. Talk to this thing. So here, I'm going to lock on, hopefully to the one to the left, throw out a gravity so that by the time gravity is finished spawning, it hits as soon as the invisible is finished spawning. And then I switch to the invisible on the right, use gravity in him, and work on him while the one on the left is like distracted and getting hit. So hopefully this works. Normally I don't pause, so yeah. So throw out an invisible gravity, throw out another one after switching, hit him, throw out another gravity. The hit is basically to keep him stunned so he doesn't move around a lot. And after the first one's dead, take care of the second. GG. Alright, so here's a menu. Getting that level up, usually you don't get it in the Dumbo route that was recently put into Proud. But since I got it, I have an extra equipment slot here, so here I'll put on Royal Crown in the empty slot. If I didn't get that level up, I would put Royal Crown over like Omega Arts. But yeah, Royal Crown, and then I want to put on EXP 0 and then prep Mushu. I also want to make sure I have at least 3 MP in going into this fight because it requires 3 MP to use Mushu. So again, if you remember, you must get a finisher off, a base finisher, and because you can't use Hurricane Blast while you're flying, it's actually really convenient. You don't have to actually take it off. So you get the finisher, land either on his chest or at the bottom of the volcano, on the volcano, so you can land, summon Mushu, fly away, then Mushu does his thing. And again, this isn't Mushu, this is only because of the EXP 0's property with like damage storage and its multiplier with finishers. And with that, you just wreck him. And then after the fight ends, you want to make sure you land at the bottom, so you spawn, after that cutscene skip and after seeing you get Super Glide, you spawn already like inside the volcano. Alright, so here, I'm taking off EXP0. I want to put on Raven's Claw and Super Glide. Super Glide makes this, it's finally a method of movement that's faster than dodge roll. Normally, again, normally you don't hit that level up with the extra equipment slot. If that was the case, I would have put Omega Arts back on over Royal Crown. I wouldn't have 3 accessory slots. But because I actually hit the level up, I can now have 3 equipment on me, which gives me more strength, which will make this fight much smoother. So dodge his jump, do some gravities, get some hits, get another hit, R's. Don't do all the bashes because you'll fall off since he's kind of aimed down. Another hit, do some R's, he's gonna fall down, and then just hit him until he's dead. Oh, forgot to sweat, that's fine. Okay, so here's the really scary fight. I can't, I'll try and explain it while I'm doing it. But here's a menu. You have a small period when your menu turns blue, your command menu, so you can access the menu. So here we switch to our magic setup, put on Oathkeeper and Royal Crown, use the cottage so everybody's at full, at least you're at full, and then give yourself a Mega Elixir for safety. Okay. Prep Simba, prep Arrow. So for this first wave of Dark Balls, they each die to 2 Firagas, so you're just kind of use 2 Firagas, then switch lock-ons, go to the next, until they're all dead. Yeah, I kind of fucked up, but it's not a big deal. So throwing up Arrow, then prepping Stop. The plan here now is to stop the Invisibles when they're kind of cluttered together, so you get a good group of them. And then once they've done that, then you use Gravity. So hopefully we get a good one. Oh shit, that was good. So it looks like 5 of them stopped. That's really good. Yeah. Oh, shit. So I'm gonna stop you. Throw the Mega Elixir. Use Gravities. Make sure he dies, and after the last Invisible dies, you summon Simba. And you need to be quick on this. You have to be quick on this. But you also want to make sure that the last Invisible is dead. If he is not dead when you summon Simba, you have to basically retry this whole room. And that includes the Behemoth, so... Summon Simba, charge while the Angel Stars are spawning, and you basically do like 5 or 6 full charges. I don't remember how many it is, but the point is you get Simba out, and with full charges, he obliterates everything. On this last charge, even though it'll hit full, I'll hold it for like half a second more, because there's a chance that the Invisible in the back won't fully be spawned in time, and there's been times where you let go of the charge, but because he wasn't fully spawned in, he'll avoid it, and you have to take him down yourself. Okay. So Mega Elixir here. Simple menu here. We're going to be putting on the XP0 because we would need it for the final fights. And we'll be taking off Hurricane Blast because, again, Hurricane Blast doesn't work with the XP0. It has to be a base finisher. And we keep our magic set up because with this, Mushu will have a bigger bar. So in case things go wrong during the Ansem 1 fight, he won't run out immediately. We used to do this fight with like 6 MP. We would do a huge menu before the door and then go into this with 6. But like if you started getting hit and then you had to cure and stuff, Mushu would actually run out before you finish the fight. So it wasn't a fun time. Keeping it this way just makes things kind of go a bit smoother, gives you a bit more room for error. So again, just like Chernobog, we have to get a finisher, and then we can use Mushu. So there's the finisher, Mushu. And so here he has two attacks he can kind of do. He can do his punch, or he can do what we call, cheater disc. He throws the discs out. The discs are kind of hard to dodge, and they do like 75% of your health. And if you take a cheater disc and then try and heal, you're still not at enough health to take another cheater disc. You have to heal twice. Alright, so here he's kind of just doing whatever. There's the discs. After he throws like the 5th one or whatever, you dodge roll to the left, then dodge roll immediately back, and GG. Okay, so our last and final menu, and I believe this is maybe the biggest menu in the run. I don't know, it's a big one. So here we give ourselves, take out all the items that we have, give ourselves full elixirs and mega elixirs. So 3 elixirs and 3 mega elixirs is usually the case. Goofy gets a mega elixir. I guess we can... Yeah, no, we won't worry about that. Goofy gets a mega elixir. Go back to your fighter setup, so we'll put on Raven's Claw, we have Omega Arts, Ifrit's Bell, and then Divine Rose. Goofy gets Royal Crown and Ray of Light, so now he's like, he has more MP than we do, and he's not usually supposed to have that. Donald, this isn't super needed, but I put on MP Haste. And then this is a preference thing, customization, I customize Arrow. And then lastly we throw a cottage, so everybody's at full, and we should be good to go. So here you do 3. You're supposed to do a 4th hit, but I kind of forgot because I was talking. But yeah, basically you do hits and Rs. I won't go for the super quick kill. I'll ride his hand up. But yeah, after a few combos, you can actually stand on his hand, ride him up like this, jump on his shoulder, and kill him like that. And now is Ansem 2. Alright, I'm actually just gonna not talk during this. This isn't good. I'm getting hit a lot. Whoa! Yeah. So that wasn't good. I got hit a lot, and because of that, I was down MP. I just couldn't work well with things. That's not a big deal, though. It's whatever. That fight is really tough. That submit attack does like 90% of your health. If you're not at full, you will die. So, it's tough. I guess the one thing that I am just a little salty is about, you do have to do this whole menu every time you die. And it's a little annoying, but whatever. Alright. Nice. Okay. I kind of just want to get past this fight. I don't want to die too much here. Ugh. so close.
Should be in the clear though, at least to kill him.
Okay. So not the greatest, but didn't die. There isn't much to explain about that fight except just knowing how to handle his attacks. And if you're going for DM skip, knowing how to set it up. I can't really talk about that because now we have this. So we don't have Mushu, but this is another point where we use EXP Zero's properties. So you get the finisher and we basically just spam fire. Because we can't really go in and hit him since he's constantly doing attacks. So yeah, fire spam. The important thing to look for is you don't want him to get past half of this next bar here with the yellow. So I can maybe do one more fire, and that would be at the perfect health. That would be right before his HP gate. But yeah, after that, after the lasers, he spawns enemies. You want to fly out so they despawn, then fly back in, and just basically at this point, it's finding a good position so you don't have too much recoil from the fire, and just fire spam. Because the problem with the recoil is it pushes you back a little bit, and you get into not the greatest of positions. So yeah. The thing that's important for that fight is, again, knowing the HP barrier, knowing when he'll do the lasers. At the beginning he does, you know, around after you throw the first item, and after a few more fires, he does the 2 lasers. Then you do a little bit more fire spam, and then he does like 5 or 6 lasers, and that's the one where you want to fly out and despawn the enemies. Shadows, there's not much to them. Kind of just go to the center, use R's, and switch lock-ons. Hopefully, you hit a lot of them. This fight, there isn't much to it. You kind of just, yeah, you're just hitting these things, using arrow and cure whenever you need to, because these things take you down very easily. So, arrow's gonna run out soon here. I need to get MP and throw it back up. Yeah. Yeah, that swipe move is almost a one-shot. It's a 2-shot when arrow is up, so that just tells you how powerful it is. Okay. So next room is the Dark Balls room. I'm gonna throw up arrow immediately and then throw out some blizzards to bait them over to me. Also hoping at the same time Goofy gives me MP gift, which he did. So now we throw on R's and hope that Sora hits them. Goofy also, again, because I gave him the Mega Elixir, he'll use it at some point during this fight. And it's very nice because it puts you back at full MP and raises your HP back. So, nice. Okay. So I'll do the R strats at the beginning here, but I don't think my MP is lined up good enough, and Goofy's about to die, so he's not going to last very long to give me MP gift. Okay, it's time to leave. Okay, get out of there. One more heal to put us at full. Recast arrow. And then basically from this point, you're kind of just doing like 1-2s, dodging the lasers, they're the pillars of light, or whatever you want to call them, and doing damage. So we get Goofy, throw in the Mega Elixir. So here I want to prep stop for the Invisibles fight. For this fight, you throw up arrow immediately, and then you basically use stop also as fast as you can when the Invisibles get over to you. And then once you've done that, you use gravity. So I kind of did it in reverse order. This is going to be very sketch. Yeah, this isn't working at all. Alright, where is everything? Yeah, I didn't display that very well, but if we can come out of this alive, that'll actually be pretty cool. Okay. Alright, so that actually wasn't too bad. The problem with dying there over and over is when you die and redo that fight, the Invisibles spawn before Sora does. So by the time the screen fully fades in, they're already like all on top of you, and you can't set up anything. It's a nightmare. So yeah, the core, artillery, they can hit you. Basically for that though, you throw up arrow for defense, do 3 gravities and an air combo, and that destroys it. Final fight of the game, throw up arrow, dodge these, I believe 5 lasers, and then once they're over, you want to get your finisher in for the damage multiplier from Mushu. So here I do like 3 combos. Make sure my last hit is a finisher, and then I land back here and chill. Because his attack is pulling me into a huge explosion, but by landing back here, it's trying to, but it can't. So after, you know, a few seconds, throw the Mega Elixir to revive Dawn and Goofy, summon Mushu, and GG. Yo, thank you Sarite for the host, really appreciate it. I kind of started skipping a lot of splits at the end just because I was trying to focus and also explain things. But yeah, that's pretty much what this fight is. Yeah, that's Proud Mode. Hopefully I did a good job of explaining how the run goes, the things we do, etc. My voice is dead. Holy hell.